Hey everybody, Rockin Robbie Billups here for Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. That's right everybody, the weekly comic book review. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books and I let you know what I thought about them, and we always start with the pick of the week. And can you guess what the pick of the week is? It's Doomsday Clock number 1, the long-anticipated follow-up to DC Rebirth and the mystery of the Watchmen. In the DC universe, Dr. Manhattan may be messing around with the timeline, causing the New 52 all kinds of commotion. The comedian's button found in Batman's Batcave, the mystery through the button in Reverse Flash and what happened there, Mr. Oz and being Superman's daddy, the Oz effect, all that stuff. It's all been leading up to this. And I thought it was awesome. I really, really liked it. I just think that writer Jeff Johns did just a hellaciously awesome job with his first issue on this. It's seriously, straight up, a sequel to The Watchmen. And it works, and everything is explained, and it's laid out, and it parallels in tone, in theme, even in panel structure, the first issue of The Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. I thought this was the absolute best first issue of a sequel to The Watchmen that we could ever get, or ever hope for. It was really, really good. I loved it. It doesn't really unveil too much yet. It's just the first issue out of 12. So we got a whole year or more of this, right? So, slow burn to start, but not really, because it lets you know what's been going on in the world of The Watchmen. That is basically what this first issue is going to be doing. It's going to tell you what happened immediately following the conclusion of Alan Moore's Watchmen. And it makes sense. It speaks on current events, it speaks on the current social climate, it speaks on a lot of different things, just like The Watchmen did for the 80s. It does this today. It is set in 1992, which ties into the death of Superman by Doomsday. Really, really crazy cool stuff. I really enjoyed this book. I'm probably going to be doing a video with spoilers where we can talk about some of the stuff in this book. I might do that for each issue of Doomsday Clock, because this is a big deal. And the first issue almost doesn't feel like a big deal, but it is, and it sets everything up, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Gary Frank doing the artwork, an amazing job, not completely ripping off Dave Gibbons, but putting his own little panache onto the style that Dave Gibbons had for The Watchmen. The coloring is great. It harkens back to that super neon 80s coloring from The Watchmen. Great stuff. Really intriguing concepts. Really interesting. All the characters ring true. Their voices are there. I love it. I love it. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Seriously, this is probably the most anticipated comic book in a very, very, very long time. And I loved it. I loved it. I also got the cool lenticular cover. If you get a chance to pick that up, it's a couple more dollars, but it's worth it because it's super cool. And Rorschach's awesome in the book. I'm just going to say that. No spoilers, though. Not yet. Detective Comics 969 is going to start the first part of the fall of the Batman story. James Tynion IV has been crafting an amazing Batman book, an amazing Bat family book. The Gotham Knights, now newly named The Team, with Red Robin, Batwoman, Azrael, Batwing. Really cool characters. They work really, really well. James Tynion IV, the writer, has all of their voices down. All the characterizations are perfect. Joe Bennett comes in to do the art on this one. Not as good as some of the artwork has been on this book with Barrows and Martinez. But it's all right. It gets the job done. But the script is where it's at. The characterization is where it's at. And everything that Tynion's been building up is starting to come to fruition. And I'm just loving this book so much. I've been actually recently rereading Tynion's Detective Comics. I read those first 3 trade paperbacks. Probably going to be doing a video on that in the next couple weeks. But I just love this stuff. I adore it. I think he takes all these characters, and it's awesome because sometimes you read a Batman book, you're like, there's not enough Batman in there. But you never feel like there's not enough Batman. And you also feel like there's just plenty of everybody else. And seriously, James Tynion IV has been doing the best job with Clayface that anybody has been doing. Action Comics 992 is here. We're building up 8 issues away from 1,000. That's coming out in February or March or something. This is a follow-up to the Oz Effect. It basically deals with Superman dealing with the aftermath of finding out who Mr. Oz actually is. It's messing him up. He doesn't believe it, so he goes and he gets some help from some people. Green Lantern makes an appearance. Batman makes an appearance. It's basically it's Superman running around being sad because he's just had his whole world shooken up. And this is leading into things that are going to be fleshed out in Doomsday Clock for certain, because he knows that time's been messed with. He knows someone's responsible for it. And in this book, he will find out who it was. Was it Dr. Manhattan? It seems likely, but was it? I don't know. We shall see. It's going to be really cool stuff, though. The Flash number 35 is out. Joshua Williamson, of course, has been doing a pretty decent job on Flash. This Negative Flash story I felt was going on for too long, but after last issue's revelation, I get what he was doing now. I'm totally on board. I like the direction of the story. He has a co-writer on this one, Michael Morikai, and Pop Man on the artwork. The art is just kind of... There are moments where it's very dynamic and fluid and perfect for something like The Flash, and other times it feels rushed and not in the kind of rushed way that you need for The Flash. So the art was a little inconsistent for me, but the story was all right there. There's some bad dialogue here and there. Maybe it's with working with a co-writer and something, I don't know. But the story is all right. Some things with the characters, though, do seem just kind of forced. But it does... This Flash is almost course-corrected from Negative. I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on the Flash, because I do like this book, and the Negative Flash story was interesting. And now where I see where he wants to take it, that's cool. But this was just a little inconsistent. A great idea, a little inconsistent in the execution. The Demon, Hell is Earth. A brand new Demon book. It's going to be a miniseries, 6 issues. It is written by somebody constant. I think it's at the end. But its artwork is done by Brad Walker, who was recently on the Rebirth Aquaman title. I like Brad Walker's artwork. It's weird. He uses really cool angles, really close up, skewed angles in on faces and stuff. I like his attention to detail. Sometimes his layouts are a little muddy, a little just too one over another, but all in all, he's a really good artist, and I think he's a great artist for this book. Andrew Constant is the writer, and the writing is pretty solid. It's all right. It doesn't really, I think, introduce new readers to the concept of Etrigan the Demon too much yet. It is briefly mentioned what's going on, but it is an interesting story, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, because I had heard some word on the street that this one was going to be really, really, really good, and it was pretty solid, and it's got a great cover, and that's that Brad Walker stuff right there. So the artwork I like. I think that's solid. There are some clunky moments in the script, and even in the artwork, but overall, it was pretty interesting, and I think hardcore Etrigan fans are really, really going to dig on this. I'm trying to find you a page that I think is cool to show. So that right there, that's some of the best stuff on there. Great coloring, great artwork, a decent story that has potential for sure. But it's nice to see Etrigan back for sure in a series, even though it's a miniseries. Speaking of miniseries, Nightwing, The New Order, number 4. If you would have told me 4 months ago that I would have been reading this book 4 issues into it, I'd have been like, no way, I don't know. Really? I'm loving this book. I think it's really, really solid. It's a great alternate world tale. This is like an Elseworlds type thing, another reality, where they have band superpowers, and Dick Grayson, Nightwing, kind of becomes the poster child for that, and he helps to like police the nation against superheroes, and then he's got a kid, and his kid winds up developing superpowers, and it's crazy, and it's really interesting, and I really have a lot of fun with it. Trevor McCarthy's artwork is solid. I love his line work. Really cool stuff. A nice redesign on the Titans in here. It's like an alternate future version of the Titans, and I think it really, really works. So there's some cool stuff there. But I'm enjoying this book. It's a cool dystopian type tale. Not really too original in its overall story concept, but its execution is really, really fun, and it's a very enjoyable comic. Any fan of Nightwing is going to like this book. It's a cool alternate take on his future, and it's really neat, and I just have a lot of fun with it. I really do. Doom Patrol is here. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. I love Doom Patrol so much. Number 9 is here. Because it comes out so infrequently right now, it's a little hard to jump right back into the zany weirdness that this book is. But the second arc is pretty solid. Doesn't feel as solid as the first arc, but that could be because I haven't read the last issue in like a few months. I wish this book would get back on track. I would totally be down just for them to admit that it's bi-monthly and just try to hit it once every 2 months, 6 issues a year. I would be cool with that, because I think this book is something special, and I really want to see Gerard Way's, the writer, long-term plan. Nick Darrington's artwork is brilliant and amazing. Tom Fowler's inking is perfectly suited for Darrington's pencils. It's clean, it's precise. Tamara Bonvillain's colors are really, really sharp. I love this book. Issue 9 is no exception. New characters get introduced. Old characters get reintroduced. Really fun, zany, weird, wild stuff from DC Young Animal, Gerard Way, Nick Darrington and company with Doom Patrol. Love that book. So let's talk about this. Thanos number 13. Jeff Lemire did the first 12 issues of the series, did a phenomenal job. Turned me into an absolute nut for Thanos. Now we got Donnie, God Country Cates on it, and Jeff, God Country Shaw on it. Also did a book called Buzzkill. Totally worth you checking out. God Country link, Buzzkill link down below. If you haven't checked them out, you really should. They'll get you hyped for this book. This book was awesome. It was really, really fun. Really great. Artwork is amazing. It's bold, it's detailed, it's powerful. Thanos is scary, and he's funny, and he's cool, and it's really neat. There's a new version of Ghost Rider in here. I'm not going to spoil anything because there's a lot that we don't know about this character yet, but I like it a lot. I like the direction the series seems to be taking. Just awesome. Really awesome stuff. If you like Cosmic Marvel, if you like Thanos, you definitely are already going to be getting it. But Donny Cates is a tremendous talent now in the industry, an up-and-coming writer. It's going to be one of the top names soon, and this book is going to be part of that road to that status because this Thanos book is awesome. Doctor Strange last week was really good. This first issue of Thanos is great. Donny Cates seems to be having a brilliant future at Marvel if he keeps it up. And like I said, Jeff Shaw on the artwork, it's just epic. It's huge. It's great. Antonio Fabella doing the coloring is amazing. The artwork is good. Great stuff. Let me show you a little bit right there. And of course, you got the Storm value stamp. That's always cool. Thanos is awesome. You guys should definitely check it out if you get a chance. Hopefully, it's not under ordered at your shop, but get a hold of Thanos and Doctor Strange from last week. Some really good stuff. Other Marvel, Invincible Iron Man 594. What's interesting about this book is that Bendis has basically taken both of his Iron Man book. You had Infamous Iron Man with Doom. You had the Invincible Iron Man with Riri. And now both books are kind of put together, including Castelli and Malieb doing their respective book parts with their characters. So it's kind of neat. It is kind of a little weird. The stories are starting to come together. It's a big jarring difference in artwork, though, from Castelli. It is Castelli, right? Castelli into Malieb. It's a big jarring thing, but of course the books, that's the artwork that was established in those books. It's cool to see the story come together, building up to the return, I'm sure, of Tony Stark proper, and then Ironheart will still be along with him. What's going to become of Doom and Iron Doom, the invincible, infamous Dr. Doom? We shall see. It's interesting to know. This is Bendis' final bit on this stuff, obviously. I think Bendis' Iron Man has been okay. It's had its ups and downs. Started off really strong, kind of lulled a little bit. Civil War II, all that kind of stuff happened. I feel like this book got hijacked from its original plans a few times, but I do love the character of Riri. Doom as Iron Man and this road to redemption that he's on has totally won me over. I'm digging the stuff, and I'm really anxious to see how Tony's going to come back and how Bendis is going to wrap all this up and set it up for the future. We shall see. So Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, I read this book. Number 25, it's the first issue of Marvel Legacy. I read it because it's got The Thing and Human Torch in it. I'm a huge Fantastic Four nut, so I'm getting pumped for Marvel 2-in-1 coming out in a couple weeks. So Moon Girl, I want to check this out, the start of the Fantastic 3 story. I thought the book was cute, thought it was fun. I haven't been reading this book. My buddy Daryl told me that I should definitely check it out. And I'm not disappointed. It's silly, it's kooky, and it's got Ben and Johnny in it, and it totally, and Herbie, a lot of Fantastic Four references in here. That won me over. I'm definitely going to be picking up the trades and reading these the Moon Girl stuff because it's a very intriguing character, but this seems like a very fun, cool book, and so I'll probably check out more. So Marvel Legacy did one thing for sure, and it brought me maybe into a little bit more of reading Moon Girl because you guys put the Fantastic Four characters in it. Speaking of Marvel Legacy, they've been doing these one-shots, bringing back canceled books from back in the day. Silver Sable and the Wild Pack number 36 with the cool Steranko homage cover. Really cool cover. It's all right. It's all right. You know, the Silver Sable book was never the best book. Even in the gaudy, extreme 90s, it still wasn't that good of a book. It's an intriguing character, and there are moments in Spider-Man history where she is handled pretty awesomely. This one, though, I didn't really like it. There were moments in the artwork I thought really cool, moments in the story at first, but then it just lost me. I felt like there was some dumb dialogue. It was a really weird, I don't know. Pick a tone. That's what I wanted to say with this book, was pick a tone, because it's got way too many things that it's trying to do, and it just did not work for me. So far, my favorite out of all these little like one-shot bring them back and see what happens has been the Power Pack one, which is surprising. But we got Darkhawk next week, I think. So let's talk about some other publishers. Over from Dynamite, we got the James Bond books. Now, I just recently reread the first James Bond book by Warren Ellis, Varger or whatever, and reading it all together, I thought it was a very fun, cool, simple James Bond story that I really liked. Just a nice, fun, throwaway action story, a good romp, if you will. If you like James Bond, you should check out the Dynamite James Bond books, especially the Ellis stuff. But if you want to try it out, this is something definitely to try out. So it's written and illustrated by Ibrahim Mustafa, and Jordan Boyd, I think, is the colorer. Yeah, Jordan Boyd on the colors, Simon Bolin on the lettering. I really enjoyed this book. It's a great one-shot, kind of like a Christmas story, so that's neat. It's called James Bond Solstice. Mustafa, I'm not familiar with him as a writer. His writing was really good, great dialogue, great pacing, of course, amazing artwork from this guy. So the way that the story is told, the graphic layout, the panel design, everything is cool. It flows really well. It's easy to grasp story. Like I said, really tight, crisp dialogue. I really immensely enjoyed this, and it was a really touching story, as touching as a cool action, sleek James Bond story can be. Really good moments between Bond and M here, and they're so subtle, and that's why this book shines. A really good book. You should definitely check that out. Great holiday reading for your Bond fan there. Maxwell's Demons, #1, comes from Vault. Vault is a new company, I guess. I don't think I've read anything from Vault. Picked this one up because the artwork looked really cool. Vittorio Astoni and Denise Camp is the writer. The artwork is cool. The artwork is really gorgeous. It's beautiful, absolutely. And look at that cover. So the artwork, I was like, that's very appealing. The story was really cool too. I really like this book, guys. If you can find this, Maxwell's Demons, pick this book up. It's about a kid who's incredibly bright and brilliant, and he lives in a world of imagination. Or is it imagination? It's one of those things where I guess you can make up your own mind. It's a little ambiguous, but the craft and the talent and skill that's put into this book is amazing. It's astounding. It's beautiful. The story is really intriguing. The dialogue is crisp. The artwork is just gorgeous, and the flow of the story. This is a spotlight. This like came out of nowhere. Seriously, I just flipped through this and I was like, oh, that looks neat. And I'm very glad I picked it up. Maxwell's Demons from Vault Comics. Definitely check that one out. That's your sleeper hit of the week right there. From Static Press and Titan Comics, we got Dr. Radar #1. This is a French comic from 2014 that has been translated into English for the first time, and Titan is releasing it. The artwork is great. I love the artwork. I love the pacing. I love the coloring. Everything about the artwork I adored. However, I could not follow this whatsoever. I don't know how much was lost in translation, but the artwork was great and solid, but the story was it's like a detective story. Dr. Radar's a bad guy, there's a detective, and it's got so confusing, but the artwork was great, and the coloring was really cool. Great stuff artistically, but just story-wise, there was nothing there for me. So that was kind of disappointing because I really did like that artwork. Imaginary Fiends #1 comes from Vertigo Comics. It's been a while since Vertigo has had a hit, and this just might be it. Written by Tim Seeley, I was incredibly impressed with this book. It's about imaginary friends. They're imps from another dimension. Some people can see them, some people can't. And there is like an agency that kind of deals with them. That's a movie. That's a movie, and it's not Drop Dead Fred, but I can't think of what it is. But that's a movie. It's like a cartoon or something. Let me know in the comments down below. It totally escapes me right now. But it's a cartoon movie, right? About these guys that like track. Oh no, it was another comic book. Oh, it was a comic book. It was really good. I can't remember what it's called. I think it was from Boom or something. Oh man, it was like a 4-issue, 5-issue. Anyway, I'm off subject. Imaginary Fiends was really cool. Way darker than the one that I'm remembering. That one was good. It was like a teddy. There was like, oh, I don't know. Anyway, I got to figure that one out. That's going to bother me. Imaginary Fiends was really good though. I'm not usually the biggest supporter of Tim Seeley's work. It doesn't always grab me, but I thought this was really good. Handled very well. Great narration. Great characterization. It involves a murder mystery. Lots of cool story and plot developing in here. The artwork is pretty solid too. The artwork is simple, but it is solid, and it is from Molnar. whose first name we shall find out in just a second. But this book was really, really good. I was very, very impressed with it. Stephen Molar, Quentin Winter doing the coloring, really good stuff there. There's not really a good, I'll show you this one. That's really cool stuff. Horror, dark, mature, but I liked it. I dug it a lot. Maybe you want to check that one out. Void Trip #1 came from Image Comics this week. It's like Fear and Loathing in outer space, and it was kind of fun. It was really cool. Really gorgeous artwork. I love the artwork. Really fun story. Likeable douchebag type characters. Stories by Ryan O'Sullivan. Art and everything else is art and cover by Played Klaus. Lettered by Aditya Bidikar. I shouldn't even attempted that one. But seriously, great artwork. A really fun story. Great characters. It's seriously like Fear and Loathing in outer space. So these two, there's these two friends, and they're traveling the spaceways, just getting by whatever they can, and they do a lot of drugs, and drugs are like these weird fruits, and it's really funny. It was intriguing. It had some action. It had gorgeous artwork. And I really liked that one too. I thought Void Trip was pretty solid. From Image Comics, we have Copperhead #15, or 16 actually. Copperhead #16 from writer Jay Farber. Drew Moss doing the artwork. Ron Riley on the colors. I love this book. It's like a sci-fi western. It's not too overtly sci-fi western, but it's a fun, great comic. Lots of revelations actually in this issue. Really intense stuff. Really, really good comic book. I love this book so much. Copperhead never lets me down. Jay Farber's doing an amazing job. The colors are spotlight. The Moss's artwork is perfect for it. I love it so much. It's great. It's a nice light read, but it's got layers to it. It really does. Copperhead, always a treat from Image Comics. And Redneck #7 starts the second story arc of Donny Cates's Redneck, vampire, redneck, Texas, epic that's going on, right? The first story arc was all right. I'm anxious to get the trade and read it all together as one in one sitting. But the start of the second arc, to me, was better than anything that's come before yet. This is very intriguing. I liked it. Really good hook at the end. Really good explanation of vampire lore and some nice little funny moments as well. Lissandro's Esther's artwork is great, and it's rugged, and it's perfect for this kind of book. The coloring is amazing from D. Kniff. Really good stuff. I like Redneck. I'm liking it more and more. God Country had me right out of the park. Just bam. Redneck and Baby Teeth have taken a while. Thanos and Doctor Strange. Dude, Donny Cates. Read his stuff. Redneck. Second story arc starts this week. Issue 7. Really good fun stuff. And finally, let's talk about Sword Quest #5. This book, based on the old Atari game, about the real world contest and sword, and this dude who's dying of cancer, and he has to go find the sword for one last sword quest. Started off very, very strong. Not what I was expecting. Hit a lull in the middle. Has a nice, satisfying ending. But this was definitely a book that started off very strong and ended weaker and less than I had hoped for. But it does kind of maybe set up a sequel, and that would be neat. I don't know if they're going to do one. It was a cool concept. It was a fun ride. But the last few issues have kind of bogged down on me, and I'm kind of glad it's over right now. So that's what I read. That's what I thought. Let me know in the comments down below. And David, Mr. Hatch, let's talk real quick about some trade paperbacks that came out this week I want to spotlight. Superman, American Alien, now available in softcover. It's $19.99. Real fun book. I'll throw a link down below if you want to check it out. But from Max Landis was a really great Superman coming-of-age type tale. So it's all these different one-shots that are snippets of Clark's life as he's growing up into his role as Superman. It's one of the best Superman books that's been out in years. It was really fun. It was dramatic. Had some different artists on each issue, so it has some great talent behind it. The script is just amazing. It's fun. It's heartwarming. There's a lot of meat to American Alien. Definitely got to check that out. And Kirby Heads, look at that. We got a Challengers of the Unknown trade paperback, and this new Kirby trade dress that DC is doing with the bright fluorescent colors is amazing. I picked up the Demon book. I'm waiting on the Mr. Miracle one. I'll get that one, but I got the Demon one. I got to get this Challengers of the Unknown. They're going to look so good on your shelf. Seriously, if you've never read any Kirby stuff, check it out, especially with the new Challengers of the Unknown book coming out soon, right? So that's what I read. Those are some trades. Let me know in the comments below what'd you think, and thank you so much for checking out the video and supporting us here At PCP, we'll be announcing the winner of our 1,000 subscriber contest very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. We got more podcasts and everything at popculturephilosophers.com and here on the YouTube channel. So please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for rocking with us, and keep on reading.